Elite Expert Insider, the podcast that educates, inspires, and motivates you to take your business and life to the next level. We would like to thank Audible for supporting Elite Expert Insider. Please go to the link bit.ly/Elite Audible. That's bit.ly/Elite Audible and get a free 30-day trial to show your support. Thank you, Audible. Now to Elite Expert Insider for conversations with industry leaders. Hi, it's Melanie Johnson along with Jenn Foster here for another great interview. We want to remind you, hey, if you like this podcast, please share it and like it and leave us some comments. We would love to hear from you. And also, if you're interested in writing a book or looking at different ways to market yourself and position yourself in the marketplace, take a look at our website, eliteonlinepublishing.com. And if you want to go on a book writing retreat, then just contact us. We have fabulous retreats down in the Dominican Republic and writing on the beach. So we have Licia Berry with us today. She is an international best-selling author. She's an artist. She's a speaker, and she's really an advocate for women. We're going to dive into how she wrote her books, how she marketed her books, but we're also going to dive into the content of her books. And she's got some great advice for women. Men, you should listen too, because it's always good to know the other side of the story, right? So Licia, thank you for joining us. So happy to have you here today.
Oh, thanks so much for the invite. I'm thrilled. This is going to be a lot of fun.
So tell us a little bit, how did you get involved as being a woman advocate? You have a story from your background. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, difficult times as a young girl, a lot of difficult, dark stuff in the family, unfortunately. Don't like to necessarily give you the details about that, but it's all written in the book, and it was something that I needed to overcome and heal myself from, and found out that there were a lot of women who had had the experiences that I had, such as sexual abuse and violence in the home. And I'm 52 now, so those are long years past. However, all the healing has been just tremendous towards being able to support other women who are trying to bring their big message, into the world and get their voices back if they've had something difficult happen to them. Wow. So, yeah, that's how I started
to share that.
Yeah, I'm impressed that you were vulnerable enough to open yourself up to be able to help other women. That's really special. What was your journey like to start writing?
It actually was kind of a way of healing, actually, to kind of, record thoughts. This is my fifth book, actually. This is the one that, just came out recently and has the #1 international bestseller. But it was a way of kind of putting my thoughts together and putting myself together, and found that actually by writing books, it was actually integrating, had a good influence on me personally. And the more I wrote and the more books that I've written and the more I've spoken about what's in the books, the more powerful my voice has become. And I'm noticing that the audiences that I attract, the women I attract, are getting that same kind of effect as they are speaking, speaking their truth and speaking their story. It's very powerful for them as a healing influence and an integrating influence. So yeah, it's really, I find that it's a calling. Like this, it has to be done, speaking the truth and doing it in a way that's imaginative, honest, and beautiful at the same time is the art part.
It's so inspiring. I try to inspire people to write in their journal or write things down, write their thoughts down. And for you to write all that down and then publish it, it's so inspiring to other women to tell their stories or to feel that, to read your story and understand and relate to it and know that they can share theirs as well.
And what are some of the things that help women to get over this and get to the other side of the hill, so to speak, other side of the mountain, really?
Well, it really starts with obviously acknowledging that this is something that's happened to us. And, our culture doesn't necessarily support us in doing that. We don't like it when people talk about difficult things all the time, and often people that are victims are blamed, for things that happen to them. So it takes an act of courage just to acknowledge that, oh yeah, that did actually happen to me. And then once that acknowledgement is there, to seek support, therapists and body workers and trusted spiritual helpers, pastors and whatever, is correct for that person. Because we can't heal alone. You know, when these things have happened to us that are kind of shattering to us, we really need helpers to hold us and keep us on the path, so that we can come to the joy. I'm in the joy place. You know, this has been a long journey for me. You know, I started my recovery 30 years ago, and I'm in just such a blessed, you know, joyful life. It's so good, and people can't even believe that I've been through the things I've been through. So the book is a guide to joy, really, after you've had difficult things happen.
Yeah, hard to keep your joy sometimes. So that's great that you help them with that. Tell us, kind of switching over to about the books or the writing process of the book. We have a lot of people who are aspiring to be authors.
Yes.
And, you know, one of the main things is how to promote your book, how to go on a speaking tour. We have authors all the time. How can we get speaking gigs or promote our book, even get interviews? So what were some of your secrets? And then I know you got even deeper that you did a webinar on it. So give us some, like, a little highlights of that.
Okay. Well, the book, number one, really just it needed to be seen. And so I really devoted to it. I committed to it. And we did a bestseller boost, which was brilliant and wonderful. And we did get #1 international in the US and Canada, and then bestseller in Australia, Germany, and the UK. And which is great. I mean, getting the bestseller status is useful in a noisy world. Yeah. But the message is what's really important. And so the book tour, I created an actual independent book tour, and I'm in process of that right now. In addition to teaching, you know, how to do an independent book tour when you're an indie author. Right. So lots of ways of.
I've got a couple questions. One, I want to know what the difference was in having a bestseller versus not a bestseller, why you think that's important, and then a couple key things that you can share with us that helped you organize the book tour.
Sure. I think a bestseller in and of itself is not all that, you know, great. It's a label, you know, but in a world that is so incredibly busy and noisy, it does get people's attention. It's sort of like the cream of the crop rises to the top kind of thing. Right. And to get people's attention, if I really believed in my message, I needed to get it out there in a way that people would see it. So that's why I went for the bestseller and got it. And in terms of the promotion and the book tour, having good relationships built over time, you know, through social media and your email list were very key, because those are the people that I reached out to first for invitations to come and speak nationally. And then, in fact, I just gave this webinar, so this is all very fresh in my mind. And then following up with invitations, I've noticed that follow-up is not always our strength as businesswomen, you know, to you know, chase that lead down and actually have a Skype conversation or a Zoom conversation where, you know, newsflash, people who invite us to speak actually need to hear our voice, right? You know, and see our face, you know, so that we make them look good when they invite us to come and speak. And then, of course, you know, having something ready to sell when you speak, being open to invitations. I initially went with a certain number of dates and wound up getting invited to almost double the amount of speaking dates, because people were in the audience and were like, can you come and speak at my thing? I was like, yes, as a matter of fact, I have space, you know, to do that. And so keeping open to those kind of connections and opportunities and just saying yes.
Now, there's a difference. And do you think that maybe some of those opportunities came because you were a bestseller, that maybe that helped push some of the doors open?
Maybe initially, the initial invitations, but I think that what happened as a result of my speaking and people hearing me speak and hearing what I was talking about resulted in so many more invitations. So where it was the beginner, right, it opened the door, but then that opened so many other doors, including getting on NBC. I had an interview on NBC in Albuquerque, which was just like, wow, incredible. You know, what precious opportunity to get the word out.
Yeah. So great. Well, I really like how you said, you know, to be open. So get your dates set, but then have open dates for when those opportunities arise, and being able to say yes. I think that's great. So did you do, besides the book tour, that's more of, you know, actual being there physically, what about online? Did you do any online book tours? Or
actually,
besides this interview?
I've had a lot of interviews, and they're a lot more scheduled. And then yes, in the various groups where I have kind of incubators for women who are, budding, emerging leaders, doing little webinars in the groups. And I'm actually beta testing a webinar that I'm going to be releasing to the public on actually promoting your book and creating an independent book tour. Because I'm really surprised. I learned this on a tour, how many people said, people don't do book tours anymore. And like physical, like drive your car around the country, put thousands of miles on your car kind of book tours. I was like, that's crazy. Because that connection that we have in person with an audience is so much deeper than what we can do on social media or through email. There's nothing that can supplant that. It was precious and amazing. And selling, a product, for me, it was a membership community. It was a way of staying connected to those people who were so inspired by the talk. And they're like, how do I remain connected to you? How can we stay in contact? And it was beautiful. It changed me. It was just a fantastic experience.
And I think
I love that too. Oh, go ahead, Melanie.
No, go ahead, Jenn.
I was just going to say, I love that you were willing and open to do a book tour, because a lot of people aren't. And the one thing that it also does for you is helps to get you like in front of, like, of course you like you said, you get a better connection, but you get to sell more books, or you can give your book away, or you can, you can have that, you have a speak to sell, right? You have a speech that then you have them join your membership. So you have a way to make money. It's not, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to do a book tour, but I don't know if I'm, they just think they're going to sell a few books. But no, you have to have a product to sell. You have to have something that will help you. I love that you have that. I love that you have that vision and know how that works. So that's excellent.
Well, and not only is it financially required to sell things so that you aren't digging a hole in the ground for yourself, but it really is an answer to that request to stay connected. It really is a heart impulse. Like, here's something that you can do to stay in contact with me, because I care about these women that are coming and listening. They're like getting inspired into their own leadership, and how else would they know what to do or feel safe, whether, without a mentor or somebody just kind of guide the way, someone who's on the path ahead of them a little bit. So it was perfect. It's been awesome. And it's just begun. I've actually been now invited to speak internationally. I've got invites in Canada and the UK and Portugal so far. And my husband is leaving his job at the end of August and joining me, and we're going to travel full time. We have our house on the market. We're going to do it full time for 2 years. Yeah.
How cool is that?
Oh,
so exciting.
Yeah, and I was just going to say pretty much what Jenn was going to say. A lot of authors, it's, your book is like your entry into the arena, but then you need to have other products to sell because people want more of you. It's like, well, I've got your book, now what? I want more. Right. I really love your book. It's helped me so much. Now where can I go with you? So you have to have a vision and a path. And even for you, you've got the membership, but maybe there's something else, that you have. So you start this journey and a walk with Licia that takes them to different levels to help them, whether it's a digital product or something else. But yeah, I just think that you have to have that journey mapped out before you go on the tour, which you were smart that you already did.
Well, I've been mentoring women for years, so it was easy to backwards engineer from that, that's my most expensive offering, to backwards engineer less expensive offerings for women that I was just meeting to, get to know me a little better and stay connected. So yeah, there's a whole different, several layers of ability to connect depending on their price point.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And where can we connect with you?
My website is www.liciaberry.com, LICIABERRY.com, and you can get to everything. I'm on all the social media outlets, but you can get to everything there. And I wanted to just say that the book, this book in particular, is called "I'm Her Daughter: The Healing Path to a Woman's Power." I don't know if we ever said that, and it's really, the beginning of it is the acknowledgement of the difficult situation, but it's vastly much more about how to heal and how to walk in a way that brings power into our lives as women, and how we can treat each other with that kindness and grace, and connection. And then how we can actually be of support into the world and create something new and different and really, really healing and beautiful in the world, have joy again. So I hope that that's a sufficient explanation about what the book is.
Yeah, that's great. It's something to empower women.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that you say it has the message for joy. I think
it does. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, if there's not evidence here, how much joy, you wouldn't have recognized me 30 years ago, but it's all good now.
And I think that joy, no matter what walk a woman has had, we all want that joy. We're all searching for that, right?
Yes, and expression, the ability to really, speak and use our voice and, help be of service in the world. So yeah, super powerful.
And what about the webinar that will teach us how to start that book tour? How do we find that? Is that on the website too?
Yes, details will be there on my website at liciaberry.com. I'd love for people to connect with me on social media too. I love to connect with my readers and the audience. So I'm looking forward to that.
Terrific. Well, thanks for coming, Licia. We really appreciate your time. It's been joyful to have you here today.
Good. Very thankful too.
Everybody watching today, we just want to remind you to like and share the podcast to help as many people as possible. And we would love to hear from you. Leave us a comment. And you can find us at eliteonlinepublishing.com. And besides that, we have tons of journals there that you can write in. Beautiful, beautiful journals. A lot of inspiring sayings on them. So check them out there, or on Amazon would be great too. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
For more information about us, go to eliteonlinepublishing.com. To get your free book, The Accomplishment and Success Story Starter, simply text your name and email to 832-572-5285. That's 832-572-5285. We'd also like to thank Audible for supporting Elite Expert Insider. To get your free 30-day trial, please go to bit.ly/Elite Audible. That's bit.ly/Elite Audible. And get your free 30-day trial to show your support. Thank you, Audible.